I found myself not having much faith in large organizations or governments to take care of people. And I found that as one individual, I can help a few people. And so I was lucky enough that a friend donated me an airplane ticket, and I knew that I just must come and help in some way. I'd never been to Haiti, and I'm unfamiliar with the language and the culture, but I knew that there was something greater than my own worry about getting here, of just knowing there's such severe loss here and such severe poverty that I really couldn't live with myself if I didn't come.
And when you say that you saw that the response to Katrina was inadequate, you're not talking from long distance, you're talking about someone who went there.
Yes, I was in Katrina 4 days after, and I was in East Biloxi, which happened to be mostly black and Vietnamese community, and the white communities that had money seemed to get a great deal more support and aid during those difficult times, where it turns out that the powers that be actually wanted a lot of the people that were in East Biloxi that were black and Vietnamese to go find somewhere else to live. So by not giving an adequate response and not coordinating with relief organizations to help in there, they were able to diminish their population of blacks and Vietnamese that the government there didn't really like that much anyways.
Right.
And so, considering how our own people would be treated in our own country, didn't give me much faith in what our government would do, regardless of what it said it would do, for Haiti, of all places.
Right. And I guess if you're talking about Katrina, we all saw the images of Katrina, and we've all seen the images of Haiti. You've been on the ground in both places. How would you describe them as just side by side? How would you? What kind of a comparison would you make?
Well, it's almost apples and oranges. Katrina, as massive as it was feeble in comparison to what happened here. New Orleans was flooded, and most of East Biloxi was knocked down. But here we're probably looking at a death toll of exceeding 500,000, because the government of Haiti has been doing mass burials, and they estimate that they've buried at least 300,000. It's difficult to tell, but many people where no assistance came buried their own family members without a record. So I assume it's safe to say that at least 500,000 people died here. But another problem we have is the second wave of death that's probably going to come due to hunger, exposure, and disease as the rainy season sets in, and the camps that I'll get to in a minute. But with the rainy season, it's just absolutely torrential downfall, and very, very little shelter. And even many of the people whose houses did not fall are way too afraid to go into them because they're structurally unsound, and so they're out sleeping in their yards, and they only run in the house to get something and run back out. And just the time that I've been here, we've had 3 additional earthquakes. And I've never really felt one, but I was on top of this building started to rumble and shake, and you could hear all around in the community people screaming as they ran out of their homes and ran out of their shelters, and it just brings all the terror of the initial earthquake back home every time it happens.
Yeah.
But in comparing the response, some ways I could say that it seems a feeble response here as well as it was in Katrina. But the scale of destruction is so much greater here. As I traveled through Port-au-Prince yesterday, I discovered one thing that reminded me of Katrina was the smell of rotting bodies, which once you've smelled is you will never guess what that smell is. You will know what that smell is. And in Port-au-Prince, regardless of how many people are trying to deal with the rubble, it is such a massive scale of huge apartment buildings that are just collapsed that no one has gone into it, hasn't been able to get through all the concrete yet, and many bodies still lie underneath the rubble. So the only comparison I would have was the smell of bodies and a feeble response.
Yeah.
But the scale is so much different.
And what is the what's the climate like right now?
Well, very, very hot during the day, which I finally managed to get adjusted to, being a pale-skinned Vermonter that prefers snow. When I first came to Haiti, it definitely took me a little bit of time to adjust to the heat. But it's just absolutely blistering sun all day long, and then the rainy season is starting, so it'll be blistering sun punctuated by absolutely torrential downpour.
Okay, and what's the humidity like?
You could cut it with a knife, especially right after it rains. It is very humid and very, very hot.
Okay.
But I've managed to adjust to it, which I'm kind of surprised. But out in the sun, it's a grueling grind out in the sun.
Yeah. And
Sure.
okay, so you're reading from a list that you had there, or some notes that you had taken, and you're reading by flashlight. So what's your power source?
Well, I'm fortunate enough that I have a friend who's a deacon for the father here, and he has a solar panel on his house that he charges like some car batteries, and he's able to power a few lights in his house, as well as allow me to recharge my cell phone, and then also my laptop computer. And we have a device that's basically a cell phone that allows us to reach the net, but at excruciatingly slow speeds. And I've been trying to get out the story from here of what's going on, and it's definitely impossible for me to upload video from here. So I've been trying to, so I've resorted to photography and have been uploading there, but in a good day, I'm able to get up maybe 4 or 5 photographs. Is how slow the internet is.
I see.
Like, for example, it took me the other day over 45 minutes just for my email page to load.
Wow.
But as for electricity, now there is intermittent electricity that comes out to where some individuals in the community have tapped into a main line